Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tabor Talk. I'm your host, Michael Tabor. So, Glenn Greenwald was struck by a talk show host in Brazil. We all know who Glenn Greenwald is. He brought us Edward Snowden. So, check this out on Kyle Kalinski's show.
So, somebody took a swing at Glenn Greenwald's face live on a right-wing Brazilian show. So, let's watch, and then you're also going to see... You'll see what happened, and then he explains afterwards how this all unfolded.
Você é covarde. Eu vou falar porque você é covarde. Você é covarde. Eu gosto Nunes. Você é covarde. Que isso? Que isso? Peraí, calma. Você é covarde. Eu vou falar porque você é covarde. Você é covarde. Eu gosto Nunes. Você é covarde. Que isso? Que isso? Peraí, calma.
Hi, this is Glenn Greenwald at The Intercept, and a lot of you have probably seen news reports in the Washington Post, BuzzFeed, and elsewhere about a physical attack that I received when I appeared on a far-right-wing radio and YouTube show that's very popular in Brazil called Panicos, but I just wanted to discuss a little bit about what happened. It all started when the person who attacked me, who used to be the editor-in-chief of Brazil's largest newspaper, but then became a far-right pro-Bolsonaro extremist, his name is Augusto Nunes, 8 weeks ago on his program, called for a judge to investigate my family, my husband and I, and determine whether or not we're taking care of our children on the grounds that my husband, David Miranda, is a congressman who works in Brasilia, and I've been working on a series of exposés about the Bolsonaro government, and he said, how can we be taking care of our children when we both work, and the judge should investigate whether our children should be removed and returned to the shelter where we adopted them from. And I've denounced that repeatedly. It obviously passes every limit. So when I got to the program today, which I went to because I believe that it's crucial in any democracy, especially one as polarized as Brazil, to have political dialogue with your adversaries, the people who have different ideologies and political opinions. When I got there, they said, would it be okay if Augusto Nunes participates in the program? And I said it would, because I wanted the opportunity to discuss with him why he would say something like that and discuss with him to his face why it was so inappropriate. When I got there, I explained to him that I thought his comments were cowardly because there are hundreds of millions of people in Brazil and the world, including his own bosses and colleagues who have children where both parents work, and yet he didn't have the courage to call for judges to investigate their children, only ours, and it was obviously partially homophobic, the idea that a judge should remove the children of two gay men. He then reacted the way the video shows, with physical violence. And I think what's most important is that the Bolsonaro movement, including the president's son and his mentor and many members of Congress from his party, are applauding this violence because it's a fascist movement. They want a civil war. They want violence in our political discourse, and that's what makes them so dangerous. So that's what happened. The video shows it very clearly.
So, Glenn Greenwald has been a thorn in the side of Bolsonaro, a guy who quite literally has said he's a fascist. We went through all of his direct quotes when he was elected. There was this really detailed and wonderful article in The Intercept that went through like his policy positions and some very concerning quotes of his. So you have this authoritarian strongman leader, and Glenn Greenwald is living in Brazil under that guy's rule, and he's a perpetual thorn in that guy's side. Which, I mean, in all seriousness, do I fear for Glenn's safety? Yes. Especially because other leftist politicians in Brazil have been killed. And Glenn Greenwald's husband, David Miranda, I think his name is also a politician in Brazil. So, man, what a dangerous situation to be in, where he is routinely and perpetually going after these bigots and these homophobes and these like literal fascists. And the thing that's upsetting to me is he gets so much crap in U.S. circles because of his contrarian takes on many issues. Like, of course, he was one of the biggest voices against Russiagate in the U.S. He's been accused of harboring sympathies to Donald Trump, which is not at all true. If you listen to, his commentary, if you put aside the Russiagate thing and just listen to his commentary on Trump, He's deeply, deeply anti-Trump. Because he's also hard on Hillary doesn't mean he's not anti-Trump. So you have like liberals in the U.S. like viciously go after him and lie about him and strawman him. And here's this guy who's actually in the lion's den, actually getting hit by by people. And it was the story there. The backstory is like the dude is a uber homophobe and ended up taking a swing at his face because Glenn called him out. I mean, this is what real courage looks like, man. And I don't care that Glenn has gone on Fox News or was friendly with Tucker Carlson or had a contrarian take on Russiagate. He's a principled guy, and he's always going to tell you what he thinks. And the same thing, the same impulse that leads him to routinely piss off everybody in the U.S., conservatives and liberals in the U.S., is the same impulse that gives him the balls of steel to stand up to a fascist movement in Brazil. So, of course, solidarity with Glenn Greenwald, and that was loathsome, what that guy did. And it does say something, man. I know this sounds almost stereotypical at this point, like Rave Dubin and ideas, but it does say something when the people that you're engaging in dialogue with start throwing fists. It says that they know they can't beat you on that battlefield of ideas, and so they have to resort to violence. He believes in free speech. He believes in free expression. He believes in debate and open discourse, and his enemies do not. And I think that says quite a bit.
So there you have it. Yeah, Glenn Greenwald should get the fuck out of there, man. His life is, I would think, is in danger. I mean, this shit happens in those countries. So, damn, not a good situation. Okay. Peace, love, and understanding here on Tabor Talk. Good friends, good books, and a sleepy conscience.